Have you ever been so overwhelmed that even sending one text asking for help felt harder than just suffering through it alone? Like your brain would rather let you struggle for 5 hours than let you say, "Hey, can you help me with this for 5 minutes?" And the weird part is, people usually see that as strength. They look at you and think, wow, they really have it together. But behind that calm, capable image, there's often something much deeper happening. Because some people are not independent by choice. They're independent because their brain learned that relying on others was risky. Psychologists call this hyper-independence. And despite how productive or strong it can look on the outside, it's often a survival response. A response built from experiences where support was inconsistent, where asking for help led to disappointment, guilt, rejection, or feeling like you owed something back later. So your brain quietly made a rule. Don't need people. It's safer that way. And after enough years, that survival rule starts feeling like your personality. Today, we're talking about why some people say, "I got it," while they're secretly drowning. And why extreme self-reliance can sometimes be a hidden response to trauma.
Welcome to the Behavior Lab, where we break down the hidden psychology behind human behavior. If you've always been the strong one, the reliable one, the person everyone depends on, then chances are your independence feels like one of your best qualities. And to be fair, the world rewards that. We praise people who never complain, people who handle everything alone, people who seem emotionally tough and impossible to break. But there's a point where independence stops being healthy and starts becoming emotional survival mode. That's what hyper-independence is. It's not just liking your space or being self-sufficient. It's feeling uncomfortable, anxious, or even unsafe when you have to depend on someone else, even when you genuinely need support. Psychologists believe this happens when the nervous system, the system in your body responsible for stress, safety, and survival, learns that relying on people is dangerous. So instead of reaching out, your brain switches into protection mode. And the message becomes, handle it yourself. Don't trust anyone too much. Don't need too much. Not because you're cold, not because you don't care about people, but because somewhere along the way, needing people stopped feeling safe.
So where does hyper-independence actually come from? A lot of this starts in childhood. Many hyper-independent people grew up in environments where emotional support felt unpredictable. Maybe your parents loved you, but were emotionally unavailable. Maybe the house was stressful. Maybe your feelings were ignored. Maybe asking for help got you criticized, dismissed, or treated like a burden. And when that happens repeatedly, the brain adapts. As a kid, you slowly start building a survival belief that says, if I want something done right, I have to do it myself. That's why psychologists sometimes call this survival independence. You're not independent because life taught you confidence. You're independent because life taught you not to rely on anyone. There's also a pattern called the easy child. This is the kid who never caused trouble, the kid adults described as so mature for their age, the kid who stayed quiet, handled things alone, and didn't ask for much. And adults usually praise that child. But what people don't realize is sometimes that child stopped asking for help because they learned their needs took up too much space. So they became easy to deal with. Over time, hiding your emotions starts feeling normal. Then you become an adult who says things like, I don't want to bother anyone. I'll figure it out myself. It's not a big deal, even when it absolutely is a big deal. Some people also go through something called parentification. That's when a child emotionally takes care of the adults around them. Maybe you became the therapist, the peacekeeper, or the responsible one in the house. You learned how to support everyone else before anyone taught you how to feel supported yourself.
What does this kind of independence actually cost you? Now, at this point, some people might think, okay, but is this really trauma? In many cases, yes. Research has found strong connections between emotional neglect, childhood abuse, and what psychologists call avoidant attachment. That's just a clinical term for someone who learns to avoid emotional dependence because closeness feels unsafe. And one of the biggest factors behind this pattern is shame. Not arrogance, not ego, shame. Deep down, many hyper-independent people feel like their needs are too much. Like asking for support makes them weak, annoying, or difficult. Sometimes they even fear that kindness will later be used against them. Like every favor comes with a hidden invoice. And honestly, this mindset can become incredibly lonely. You can have loving people around you, people who genuinely care about you, and still feel emotionally disconnected from everyone. You become the person who says, "I'm good, I'm fine, don't worry about me," so often that eventually even you start believing it. Your nervous system gets so used to suppressing stress that sometimes you don't even realize how exhausted you are until your body completely crashes. That's why so many hyper-independent people suddenly hit burnout out of nowhere. In reality, they were overwhelmed for a very long time. They just never let themselves notice it.
So how do you stop surviving and start feeling safe? And how do you heal from this without losing your strength? The answer is not becoming dependent on everyone. The goal is something healthier, called interdependence. And all that really means is this: you can handle life on your own, but you also allow yourself to lean on people when you need to. The first step is stopping the self-judgment. Your hyper-independence did not come from nowhere. It protected you. It helped you survive situations where relying on others felt painful or unsafe. So instead of asking, "What's wrong with me?" try asking, "What did my brain learn to do to survive?" That question changes everything. The second step is practicing very small moments of trust. Psychologists sometimes call these micro-requests, tiny, low-risk ways of asking for help. And honestly, they can be ridiculously small. Ask someone to recommend a movie. Ask a coworker for a small favor. Ask a friend to pick something up for you. The goal is not the task itself. The goal is teaching your nervous system that support does not always lead to disappointment, guilt, or loss of control. And over time, those tiny moments start rewiring the way you relate to people. There's also something called earned secure attachment. That sounds super technical, but the idea is simple. It means even if you did not grow up feeling emotionally safe, you can still build healthy and secure relationships later in life. Through therapy, through safe friendships, through consistent people who prove that care doesn't always come with conditions. Your past may explain your patterns, but it does not permanently trap you inside them.
If this video felt a little too accurate, like someone just described parts of you that you normally keep hidden, you're not alone. There are a lot of people walking around looking high-functioning while secretly feeling like they have to carry the entire world by themselves. And healing doesn't mean becoming helpless. Sometimes healing simply means realizing you were never supposed to carry everything alone in the first place. So here's something I want you to think about. What's one small thing you could ask for help with this week? Just one. Maybe it's asking someone to handle a task. Maybe it's opening up to a friend instead of saying, "I'm fine." Maybe it's simply admitting that you're tired. Drop your answer in the comments. And if you enjoy videos that explore the hidden patterns behind human behavior, relationships, trauma, and the mind, subscribe and join us here at the Behavior Lab. Because once you understand your patterns, you stop seeing yourself as broken and start seeing yourself as human. I'll see you in the next one.